Hello everyone, welcome back to Data Engineering for the Ultimate Beginner course and welcome to Learnetics, where we make data simple, practical and career focused. In this section, we will be diving into an really important question, what is data engineering? And along the way, we will also answer few of the key questions like why data engineering even necessary and why do we need to process data in the first place? And what's behind the recent surge of data engineering demand? And finally, why does every company care so much about the data? So let's jump in. In today's digital world, data is everywhere. Every time you scroll through social media posts or shop online or even stream a video, you are generating data. But here is the thing, the data in its original form is usually messy, unstructured, and not very helpful. And that's exactly where data engineering comes in. Data engineering builds the system and pipelines that collect, clean, and organize the data, turning raw information into useful business and analysis make smarter decision. Let's look at the standard definition of the data engineering that you will find across the industry. Data engineering is the process of collecting, transforming, storing, and moving data so it can be used by data scientists, analysts, and business application. Sounds simple, right? Or maybe not. You might be thinking, okay, that's important, but I'm still little confused. What exactly the data processing and why does even data need to be processed? You are thinking that, right? That's totally fair. Let me break it down for you. Think of raw data like this. Imagine you have just come back from a grocery shop. Now picture walking into the kitchen and everything is in everywhere. Some items are still in bag, some items are scattered across the floor. The milk is in the pantry, not in the fridge. You accidentally brought 3 bags of rice because no one had checked if you have some rice or not. Some cans doesn't have any labels, so you don't know what is there inside the cans. And half of the vegetables are mixed in with the cleaning supplies. Now try cooking a meal like that. That's chaos, right? That's exactly what raw data is like. It's all there, but unorganized, confusing, and not ready to be used. Let's make this more real. Imagine running an e commerce site. Your website collects a ton of data every second. Clicks on the product pages, add to cart actions, purchases, search queries, reviews, user location, and profiles. Sounds super valuable, right? Well, yes or maybe no, because this data isn't always clean or reliable when it first comes in. Okay, now you must be thinking, what's the big deal with the raw data anyway? Like, what's actually wrong with it? You are thinking that too, right? Totally fair question. Well, let me answer that, and I promise it all start to make sense. So here is the most common issues. The first one is the missing information. Maybe a product view doesn't have a timestamp or user location is blank. If we don't know when or where something happened, how can we spot the trend? The next one is inconsistency. John Smith, and Jay Smith might be treated as three different people. This squeeze analysis and make personalization impossible because the name with the uppercase and lowercase letter and half of the name. Next problem with the raw data is duplicates. A glitch might record the same action twice like double purchase. Now your sales number are totally off. The next problem with the raw data is mislabeling. A shirt might be tagged as a menswear in one place and apparel man in another. Good luck trying with the group your data by category. Next one is the format issue. In some places, date is in UTC format, and in some places, date is in IST format. Currencies in US dollar and euros, or prices using commas instead of dots. You would have been surprised how much this small thing can break a system. Now, okay, so we understood what is the problem with the raw data. Now the question is, what happens if we don't process it? Can you imagine? Now what happens if we try to work with the messy data, raw data just the way it is? Well, things can go sideways. Let me break it down with some simple example. Sales totals get messed up. Imagine a customer clicks buy twice by accident. The system might count it as two sales instead of one. Now your sales report shows more money than you actually made. Not good, right? Trending product get missed. Say one product is listed as Bluetooth speaker in one place and wireless sound device in another. There are the same item, but they look different in the data. So your system doesn't recognize it's trending. You miss the opportunity to restock on promote bad recommendation. Ever seen a website recommending something totally random? No, right? That happens when user data is messy. Maybe your account has your name spelled three different ways, or your past purchases are not recorded properly. So system doesn't really know you, so it gives bad suggestions. So yeah, in short, messy data equal to bad insight equal to bad decision. And that's exactly why we process the data to turn chaos into clarity. So what's the fix for all that messy confusing data? Data processing is the solution, and here is how it works step by step with simple examples. The first processing that we do in the data is cleaning. Think of this like tidying up your desk. We remove duplicate records like two identical purchase, fix typos like Amazon with double Z instead of Amazon with single Z, and fill in missing info like adding a user city if it was left blank. Transforming. This is about making everything uniform. For example, turning all dates into same format like UTC, converting all prices into the same currency USD instead of mix of USD, EUR and INR. The next one is enriching. Here we add extra useful info to make the data more valuable, like connecting a customer's email to their age group or combining product data with inventory details. Now you don't just know what was bought, you know who bought it and why that matters. The next data processing is validation. Before we use the data, we do a quick logic check. Does it make sense that someone bought 1000 t-shirt in one order? No, right? Possibly not. So we flag errors or outliers to keep things accurate. The next processing that we do is structuring. Finally, we organize everything nicely, like putting files into labeled folder. Data gets stored into clear tables with rows and columns, or structured into events that can be easily tracked and analyzed. After processing, the data is clean, consistent, and actually useful. Now it's ready to power reports, dashboards, business decision, and many more. Once processed, the data become trustworthy, consistent, ready for dashboard reports, business strategies, machine learning models, real-time decision making. Now you must be thinking, okay, this all sounds good, but I'm still a bit confused. Like, why do we even need to process this data? What's the point? Why are the company putting so much effort into all this? Am I right? You are thinking that, right? You are probably thinking something along these lines. Don't worry, that's exactly what we are going to unpack next. Let me explain it in the simplest way possible. So why company goes through all the trouble of processing the raw data? Because process data helps them make smart decision and smart decision grow the business. Let's look at few real world example that will make how process data is actually useful to companies and how they are benefiting from it every single day. The first example is spot trend pattern. A retail brand noticed that umbrella sales spikes every Monday after a rainy weekend. Thanks to process data, they can plan better, stock ahead of the time, and never miss a sales. Understand what works and what doesn't. A business runs two marketing campaign, one on Instagram and one on YouTube. Clean and organized data shows YouTube performance better by 40%. Now they know exactly where to invest their next ad budget for maximum return. Make smart data driven decision. A delivery service wants to expand. They analyze customer location and delivery pattern and find a new city where demand is high. With that insight, they confidently open a new hub and it takes off. Personalized customer experience. Let's say you have been browsing phone cases online. Later, you notice that website shows you more phone accessories, exactly what you were looking for. That's not magic, right? It's data. Campaigns use your browsing data and purchases history to recommend products you are likely to want. This makes shopping easier for you and help the companies sell more. Next one is improved efficiency. A company track how long it takes to solve customer issue. They notice that question about billing take twice as long as others. With this data, they create quick FAQ and train the team better. Support become faster, customers are happier, and employees feels less overwhelmed. So there you have it. Raw data is just noise, process data is power, and data engineering is foundation that makes it all possible. It's how companies go from guessing to knowing, from chaos to clarity, from data to decision. Let's keep going. You are doing awesome, and we have got plenty more to explore. See you in the next session.